Hey, I'm back, and today I want to talk about some production mistakes I've made, and I want to talk about these because I hope you can avoid them. So let's get started. So, number one, not using reference mixes. By reference mixes, I mean songs you like that are similar to the songs you're working on. So oftentimes I use imcompare. Actually, imcompare is one of the few plugins I use on probably every single mix. And I load up maybe four songs I like that are in the same genre as the song I'm creating. And I listen to these for things like the balance between instruments, the amount of compression, reverb, etc., how prominent a vocal is or a guitar part is, etc. When I started, I didn't do this, so I would do something I thought, oh, this sounds pretty good, and then I would send it to a friend or post it online and ask people for feedback, and people would say like, drums don't sound good. I'm like, what? The drums don't sound good, and then I would listen and like, oh yeah, they don't, and I'd fix them. But it took like many times to get it perfect. And after I started using imcompare and reference mixes, I found that I would send it and the feedback would be better. Of course, now I still have problems. If you've heard my songs, you know the mixes aren't perfect, but they're much better than they were, and it just saved me lots of time. So I'd recommend if you aren't using reference mixes, use them. They're really useful and they save you lots of time as far as mixing is concerned and even production because sometimes you'll notice like, hey, maybe this production seems very full and mine doesn't. And it's because they have some other element like, maybe they're using like acoustic guitars, really low in the mix. And you're like, oh, maybe that would fill out my song. Or like, hey, they're using like some synth pad in a rock song. You're like, oh, they are kind of using a synth pad and that kind of fills things out. So those types of things will help you. And also, it's fun to listen to music. Number two, make things convenient for yourself. So the problem was I wasn't making things convenient with myself before. Like I'd have my guitars someplace where I couldn't access them easily. Now I have them like right behind me here. I'm not even sure if you can see. You can see one of them behind me. But anyways, having them right there would allow me to produce things much faster. And it's not like, oh, it's so much trouble to get it out of a case or get it from another room. But the problem was when I'd have an idea in my head, I would think, I don't want to, go and open up my guitar and get it out to do something. So I wouldn't do it and I would just lose the idea. Or if I think, I want to record something, if it takes forever for my DAW to start up or like I have to hook in a bunch of wires, I just won't do it. This might be a personal thing, but I think some of you might have the same problem. So I think keeping like microphones hooked up all the time, keeping your guitars handy and everything so you can record things easily whenever you have an idea really helps. And it goes from something that I'll record when I have time to like, oh, I can have like 5 minutes, everything's already set up, let me just try to record this and knock it out really fast, and then go to my job or cook dinner, whatever you have to do. Number three, being lazy when it comes to production and mixing. By being lazy, I don't mean not doing anything, but I mean kind of half doing things. When I first started, I would have like some kind of drum software like Steven Slate drums, and it would have like MIDI patterns. I'd think, oh, this MIDI pattern sounds good. I would just copy and paste it, copy and paste it, copy and paste it. I do this through the whole song, and I know it's like this sounds terrible. Maybe I'll do a little bit more. I'll add a fill every 4 bars. And when I did that, I thought, wow, I'm really doing a lot. I'm a master at drum programming. But really, it sounds terrible. That's no good. When I started trying to do a little bit more, it sounded a little bit better. But what really changed things for me was like drummer and jam sticks. When I got those, I realized that not only do you need like fills every 4 bars, but every section should have like some slight difference. And what I mean by that is like maybe the first verse should be with hi-hats, and then when you go to the chorus, you're using the ride cymbal or something. And the same thing, you could increase the volume, the intensity, add more hits, add some ghost notes. And when I did that, I noticed like, wow, things actually sound better because it actually sounds like separate sections. It doesn't sound like I copy and pasted something, the whole time. And you can actually feel things. And actually doing this not only for drums, but other things like automation to make some parts louder or softer, or effects, turn some effects on and off, or just have delay on one word or one note. Those things really make a big difference. So doing that helps. Don't be lazy when it comes to production. It's always better to do more than do less. And if you think you've done too much, all you have to do is mute it or delete it. It's easy now. It's not like people are running out of, expensive tape. Hopefully all of you have, big hard drives so you can just record as much as you want. And if you don't like it, like I said, just hit the mute button. But it's better to have too much than too little. And don't be lazy like I was. Number four, last but not least, was not using tools. So now in the modern era, there's all sorts of digital tools you can use, but oftentimes, at least for me, my ego gets in the way and I don't want to use them. So I think I'm singing, I don't want to tune my vocals. I'm not T-Pain, I don't want that effect. Or I'm a guitar player. If I make a mistake, I'll just do it again. But I found when I did that, I just ended up doing take after take after take after take, and it wasted a lot of time and it killed my motivation. And at first I thought, like, if I'm a real guitar player, I should be playing every part and not, copy and pasting things or, not trying to use some like digital tricks to make all the hits line up completely on rhythm. But if you think about it, it's a song. It's for people to listen to. It's not a contest of who can play something the tightest or something like that. And oftentimes the problem wasn't even that I couldn't play the part or I couldn't sing the part. The problem was I would make some random mistake, or even I would make the mistake. It would be like an equipment mistake, like, oh, I'm singing and I bump into the microphone, or I'm singing and a car passes by and now there's noise in the background, or I'm playing and then when I go and turn down the knob, like I hear crackling in the knob and I can't use that, and I would just erase the whole take and do it over again. Then I was like, okay, I'll be better, I'll punch in and out, and that saves some time, but I would still sometimes just erase everything. Then I thought, you know what, maybe I should try using the take lanes in my DAW and then try to sing something or play something 4 times in a row, and then out of those 4 I'll just cut it and put the best parts in the right places. So maybe the first line I'll use like take 1, the second line I'll use take 4, the third line I'll use take 2. And I was like, wow, things sound a lot better that way. And what really changed my mind on this is I learned that Alan Holdsworth actually did this. He would play something and he would do more than one solo and then just cut and paste the parts that he liked. And I was like, wow, Alan Holdsworth is much better than me, so if he does it, it's okay with me. And I found the same thing with like playing rhythm parts. I was like, why am I wasting my time doing this? I can just do this quickly, make it sound good, and I can get on with the music instead of torturing myself and wasting time. So those are my 4 mistakes. Let me know down below if you made any mistakes like this, and also let me know if you like this format of video. And if you haven't already, of course, like and subscribe. And until next time, see you.